Okay, so welcome back. So where we're at again is converting the stall into the objection. And stall is when they don't give you a reason why they don't want to list. They just say we want to think about it or we want to sleep on it. A condition is something that needs to be met before you should even go on the appointment. A condition is maybe it's a probate for an estate sale. You know, they have to get that all dealt with the lawyer, or maybe not all decision makers can meet, that type thing. Okay, so it could be that. So when we were going to convert the stall into the objection, we said, well, what is it exactly? Is it the? And then what we did was we role played that, and you took turns. But I'm going to show you another way. All right, and that one is called the. There's two types of communicating. There's verbal and there's written as well, okay? And verbal and written. So you want to use a talking notepad. What's a talking notepad? It's just a pad of paper that you write on as you talk. So you got a blank piece of paper to the left in your book. You'll use that as a talking notepad. And what you're going to do is, oh, there it is. I'm just going to move this chair out of the way. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to teach it first, then I'm going to show you how to do it, and we'll pause, and we'll get you to role play that part as well. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember there's two types of communicating. If what is it that technique doesn't work, or just saying what doesn't work, you don't just leave yet. I always give you up to 3 ways to handle things. So that's good, yes?
Yeah.
So it may feel like time to go because they said, you even said, is it me? Now remember, when you do the is it me, it's kind of like this. So you say this. I'll put this back up here for a second. So, so what is it? I understand that you want to think about it, but what is it that you need to think about it? Is it anything to do with the forms?
Oh my goodness.
And is it anything to do with the forms? No? Okay, so it's not anything to do with the date or the times. Is it anything to do with the price or the net? Is it anything to do with the commissions? And then you confirm all those things. Is it our marketing, and you confirm, and is it just because you want to look before you list, and they still don't tell you, and then you go, is it me? You know, and they say, no, it's not you, everything's good, we just need to, you know, think about it for a couple of days. Oh, okay. And then you segue into that other part where you say, well, you know what, I just want to write down something here for you. Usually it comes down to 1 of 3 things. Sometimes people are not sure if they want to sell. And you would write down the block form capitals that I have there, not sure. Sometimes people may not trust that we can get the job done, and there's more info I need to share with you. But it usually comes down to the M-O-N-E-Y, yes, the money. All right? So I taught it, now I want to show you how to do it. So I want you to really pay attention to what I'm doing up on the board here. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. So I just went over what is it, and I said, is it me? And they said, no, it's not you. And then I said, okay, well, before I leave, I just want to let you know it usually comes down to 1 of 3 things. When you role play, do it exactly the way I'm doing. I'm going to watch you closely, so if you're not doing it exactly the way that I'm doing it up here, I have to stop you. In fact, your role play partner should stop you. But you have to do it exactly the way I'm showing you up here. So you got a blank piece of paper, and you said, is it me? And they said, no. That's where you start with your role play. Is it me? And they go, no, it's not you. And you go, oh, good. And then you say, so, you know, usually it comes down to 1 of 3 things. So let me just jot them down. Sometimes people are just not sure. Now, you notice how big I wrote that?
Yeah.
This is your page. This is your piece of paper on the left-hand side of your manual. How much of that page did I use? A third. So when you're writing on that piece of paper, you literally make that word that big. Or if you have a notepad that's this big, you'd still use a third, a third, a third. Don't write it now. Do not write it now. This is how you role play it. Everybody's with me?
Yes.
Okay, so you will say, so back, this is how your role playing is, right? You say, is it me? No, it's not you. Oh, that's good. Well, listen, before I go, I just want to let you know, it usually comes down to 1 of 3 things. Let me write them down for you. Again, don't write this, please. Sometimes people are just not sure if they want to sell. Others, maybe they don't trust that we can get the job done for them. So maybe I need to give you more info. You notice I said it, wrote it as I said it?
Yep.
Don't write it down now. Make sure you don't write it down. Some of you are. Again, when you do write it down, you'll write it down this big. So give me a manual for a second. When you write it down, let me just fold it. Just hold it for me. When you write it down, you're going to write it down to take up that much of the page, that big. Everybody's clear on that?
Yes.
When you write down the next one, it's that big. Okay, when you write down the last one, so don't write anything yet. Let me role play it again, because I've seen a few people jumping ahead. But it usually comes down to the money. So let me do it again. So, is it me? Oh no, it's not you. Oh, good. Well, listen, before I go, I just want to let you know, it usually comes down to one of three things. Let me just write them down for you. So sometimes people are just not sure if they even want to sell. Sometimes it's maybe because people don't trust that we can get the job done for them, so maybe I need to share more info. But it usually comes down to the M-O-N-E-Y. Usually it comes down to the money. Then you turn your book over to the other person and you go, why don't you just pick one, see if there's any other info I can share with you. And I want them to circle money. I want them to say, well, you know what, it probably is the money. We need to think about it for a bit. And just stop there. Okay, so if you can pause that.